Sue, hi, thank you so much for joining me. Oh my gosh, we've already just chatted for so long, and now like, oh, wait, let's hit record. So, thank you for joining me from Austria. Love connecting with everybody from all parts of the world, and love hearing that Creatrix is just worldwide as well. It's making such an impact everywhere, which is fantastic.
It sure is. So thank you, Shannon. Thanks for inviting me on. And yes, we've had some wonderful chats already before this. And yeah, just lovely to be here and lovely to meet you. So thank you.
Thank you. So, how long have you been doing Creatrix for, and why? What drew you towards it?
So my Creatrix journey started about a year ago. It's coming up end of November was when I first, well, when I sort of qualified as a Creatrix transformologist. But it was shortly before that. And the reason I found Creatrix was initially I was, as a solopreneur, trying to run my own little business. I was really struggling. I was struggling with overwhelm. I was struggling with not feeling good enough, a lot of imposter syndrome, jumping from I need this course and that course and more courses, and never really feeling comfortable about putting my offers out there. The marketing side felt all yuck to me. And so I was really struggling to develop my business, to grow my business. And yeah, it was frustrating. I'd spent 4 years trying to build it, trying to put my offers together. And it was just I was feeling so stuck. And I went through, found a lot of different coaching courses and business model, modules and things. And then somehow Creatrix popped up on my Facebook feed, I think one day, and I was like, "What is this? This is something really different." And I decided to go ahead and to have a session of Creatrix and to find out what it was all about and to see if this was something for me. And it was very, very powerful because what happened was 3 days before my first Creatrix session, I was due to have a podcast interview with for that was going to be in front of an audience of about 2,000. It was going to go live into a group of about 2,000 people. It was an industry related group. So a lot of colleagues and things in there. And I was shitting myself. I was like so nervous because this was the first time I was going to go live into a big group and be heard, be witnessed by my colleagues, where I was promoting and presenting a completely different model of working with dogs and people that was new to the industry or pretty new. And I was so scared. I was petrified of judgment. I was petrified of just going out there and just saying it and just doing it and speaking my truth. Anyway, so I had Creatrix 3 days before that event. And I thought, well, there's no better proof that this either works or doesn't work. And it literally, you come out of the session and I had, not good enough and, feeling judged, those kind of things. I can't even remember what the exact wording was. It's gone. But I came out of there feeling I can absolutely do this. And I absolutely give a shit about what everybody else thinks. I can do this and I will do this. And I went ahead, I did the podcast. I felt great during the podcast. Well, the biggest thing was I never went back and looked to see what the comments were, what people were judging or not judging. It just was not part of my vocabulary. And that was the proof to me, the proof that this was after one single session, my first session that I had, it was like so powerful that I knew that this stuff was for real. So I went ahead and I, completed the whole breakthrough and decided to become a transformologist because I could see the value in this. I thought if I'm helping other people, not only is this helping my business and helping me to show up for the people that I wanted to show up for, because, I'm passionate about helping specifically dogs and their people because that's what I do. I'm a holistic dog trainer and a behavior practitioner. And I could suddenly see the value in helping them as well. So not just for me on a business point of view and for helping my clients, but actually what they were going through with their Creatrix.
Sorry, so you just cut out there for a minute.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so you're a dog practitioner and holistic,
So
sorry?
yes, So I'm a holistic dog trainer and behavior practitioner. And I could see how that Creatrix could not only help me and support me in my business and being a solopreneur and showing up for my clients, but actually supporting them on their journeys with their dogs, because
Oh.
emotional things, the beliefs and things that we bring into our lives. Oops, do we get stuck again?
Yeah, we did.
I know.
I'm sorry, you were just saying you could help the humans and the dogs and the emotional, something along those
Yeah,
lines.
because I just recognize that the emotional journeys that people are going through, specifically people who have sensitive dogs, who have dogs with behavior challenges or health issues, those dog parents, as it were, are also bringing into that relationship a whole lot of their own stuff, their own beliefs and things about themselves, and the judgments and the not feeling good enough, and all of that comes into it as well. And so I could see how this could work. And not only do we bring it into our personal lives, we bring it into our relationships with other people, and that includes our family animals. We bring our baggage into that as well. So for me, it was an aha moment that we all needed this. If you're a woman and you're out there, you need this. You need Creatrix. And I could see how wonderfully it could help my clients and their animals as well. So yeah, that's how I got into it and where I'm at the moment.
Wow. Wow. And that's how you and I had just chatted for half an hour before we even started recording, because we both have our fur babies as a common a common passion and love.
Yes.
So tell me about that little guy behind you just there.
This one here is he's Charlie. His name is Charlie, and he's now 11 years old. He's still with me, and he was my wake up call. Um, at the time, I certainly didn't recognize it as such, but now I can see it. That's exactly what it was. He came into my life, yeah, just about 9 years ago, and it was a time in my life when my kids had grown up, and sort of getting ready, high school level, didn't need mum so much. And I've always loved animals, always had animals in my life, but there was a phase which we hadn't had, and I was delighted to be able to get another dog. And so we adopted Charlie. He came from a rescue, and he had a pretty miserable start in his life. And he came with a lot of behavior challenges. He was a delightful dog, full of life, but he chased anything that moved. He was a very sensitive dog, moving from absolute shutdown fear in one moment to full out craziness, chasing things, barking at things, and going crazy as well. So he was a real challenge for me. And even though I'd had plenty of experience with dogs and even rescue dogs, he had thrown me, right off, didn't know what was going on. And we had a relationship breakdown. Basically, I could actually say to this day, and it still hurts me to say it, but at that stage, I hated him. I hated having him in my life. Every day was a challenge. I hated going on walks. The tears flowed every day. It was a challenge, and I went through so many different dog trainers trying to help, with different things. And suddenly I realized I had a wake up call, and that I was like going to it was a decision. I was going to give him back to the shelter because it was just not working out for us. And then excuse me, I went back to find the shelter's number in my file. And as I was dialing them, I was reading the comments, and it said there, "I promise to give Charlie a forever loving home." That was sort of the little contract that I'd signed when I picked him up from the rescue. And I just broke down and put that on the phone. And I said, I can't do this. I've got to work it out. I've got to find a way for us. And so he sent me on a beautiful journey of learning and discovering it. That's when I learned to become a behaviorist, a dog behaviorist, was, understanding their emotional experience, understanding who they are, what made them up as dogs, what made their challenging behaviors. It wasn't a lack of training. It was so much more than that. It was so deep. And in that journey, I started learning real deep things about compassion and empathy and understanding. And it started to reflect on me as well about how controlling I was of needing to control behavior, needing to fix people, needing for people and animals to fit into my lifestyle of what should be right. And it suddenly brought up all my own stuff. It started to teach me about myself. Who was I? Why did I have these patterns? Why did I need to control things? Why did I need to feel all this approval from everybody? And it was like, wow. So he's been an incredible teacher for me, not only teaching me about dogs and animals and behavior and understanding them better, but being able to understand myself, and to, an incredible self-growth journey has unfolded from that. So yeah, that is my wake-up call, as I say.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
remembering that you chose to give him his forever home.
Yes. Yeah. And we do, and all those dreams that at the beginning, which when, you get a dog and you have all these dreams of how you want that life to be. And one of my dream was, we had actually just moved to England at the time, and I wanted to walk and hike and go camping and do all these beautiful things, outdoor activities like we do with dogs. And suddenly this dog didn't allow any of that. I mean, we couldn't, family walks were a disaster. We were always screaming at each other, and the dog was always, trying to chase something or pulling us through the bushes or doing something crazy. So family walks were a misery. They weren't fun at all. Camping was just too over the top for him. I remember that our first camping trip was an absolute disaster. He had diarrhea. He wouldn't eat. He was just so in such an anxious state in a strange environment that he, couldn't even function, as it were. So all the dream things that I wanted to do with this dog and have in my life were just completely blown out the window. And I can honestly say we're at a stage now, we've just come back from another week in Slovenia camping, and that's where he's the happiest. He's the happiest outdoors, living the camping life, being with us, and his behavior has changed incredibly. And yes, he's matured, but most of all, it's because I've learned to accept him for who he is, and I've just learned how to support his emotional experience and support him through his own transformation versus trying to fix him and do things to him and train him and get it right, the behavior right. I've allowed him to develop and find his truth and his confidence, just from a supportive level, basically. So instead of trying to fix the dog, I'm now learning how to support dogs and their people, so that they can go on that journey for themselves, and find their own transformation.
That's so beautiful.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. And what an amazing way to find your transformation as a human, to go through the Creatrix experience and be able to share this with your animals.
Yes, yes, yes. So it is. It's as I said, the more I learned about behavior and the epigenetics of behavior and all that, and it just ties in so beautifully with the Creatrix, because that's what Maz talks about all the time. We changing things at an epigenetic level here. We're not trying to fix things from the outside. We're changing stuff from the inside out. And this is powerful. And it affects every sentient being. We know that our animals have emotional experiences. We know that they're mammals. They're hardwired for connection. They're hardwired for relationships. And so it's as powerful for them as it is for us. And if we can learn, many of us I know in the Creatrix family are going in there because we're helping our children. We like coming in there because it's being stressed out as a parent and all the challenges that brings. Well, I can tell you now that very, very similar experiences happen with our dogs as well, as dog parents. Very similar experiences. So, and yes, why couldn't we change, just as we epigenetically can change, for our children things? Why couldn't we do the same for our animals? And I believe it's possible.
I definitely believe so too. Because you see the patterns between
Yeah.
animals and humans. You
Yeah.
see it so often. And you even see people choose the same looking dog. Like you're talking about mirroring before. It's like, yeah, you do
Yeah,
see that sometimes out there in the world.
yeah. And as you say, at all levels, we see it, as you say, not only do people choose dogs that look similar to them,
Same
but also
mannerisms.
the same mannerisms and characteristics. And even it's as we were saying before, I've heard, veterinarians actually say that they see similar health issues coming up in their people and their dogs as well. So, that mirroring doesn't just happen on a superficial level, it happens on a deep energetic level as well.
Mm, mm.
Yeah. So
Oh,
our dogs
phenomenal.
are certainly, I believe, certainly that they are here to teach us, to help us through on our life's journey, just as we are them, just as we are there to support them. They are here to support us on our journey as well. And they can be incredible, incredible
Mm,
teachers. And
mm,
teachers that are much better at humans than listening, much better than humans at just being present and going with the flow and living life as it comes versus trying to resist everything that, you know, that this resistance that we have. Animals just don't have that, they deal with what comes.
mm,
And I think
mm,
this is probably, Shannon, my biggest um, what do you want to call it, lesson, takeaway, insight from, or a feeling that Creatrix has given me is that, that saying, all will be well. And it's true, everything, all will be well, whatever it is. And I honestly feel equipped now, emotionally equipped to deal with whatever life throws at me. With, whatever that comes, I'm able to. It doesn't mean I don't feel emotions. It doesn't mean I don't get upset and triggered, but it means that when it comes my way, whatever that is, it's really like being that observer and saying, wow, what is that? That feels, I can feel that in my body. What's going on there? And literally being able to work through it very quickly and, either embrace it, release it, take the lesson, do whatever I need to do with that. And
mm.
that is powerful because you actually have a knowing now that you can bring it on, whatever, life is life, find the joy, go out there. And when things don't go right, well, it's okay. We can all deal with it, Having that emotional intelligence that Creatrix gives you is fucking powerful,
Yeah,
really powerful.
yeah, it certainly is. And so, if you had a couple of words to say to some ladies out there that are watching this that are considering doing Creatrix, what would you say to them?
Wow. It's a no-brainer for me, certainly. You can't. There's something I remember, I gave a workshop in a Creatrix workshop once, or it wasn't about Creatrix, it was about, that breaking the cycle, as it were. And what you realize is that we all have cycles. We all are cycles and patterns. That's who we are, right? So it affects every single one of us, right? And all the other courses and things that I did, there loads of self-development that I did before that, coming into this, was all wonderful. And it kind of, you hear it and it's great, and then you go away with it. You might have one or two takeaways, but to actually apply it in everyday life, for me, the missing piece which Creatrix gave me during the Creatrix sessions was literally feeling it in your cells, what that feels like to be different, what it feels like to see a different perspective, what it feels like to have that insight. It's like having insights that go right through into your cells, because from there now you have the understanding and the feeling. It's like, I know what that feels like. This is how I can put it into action. This is what it feels like to see that other perspective, to experience that other side of it, and step away from all the fear and the gunk and the shit that's in the way and the beliefs that are in the way. So for me, yeah, it's a no-brainer. I think it's something very powerful that has to be experienced, but certainly is, go for it. That's all I can say.
Yes,
It'll
yeah,
change all parts of your life. It's not, as I say, I entered it going in there thinking that I needed it to help me as a business person, as a solopreneur. struggling to make ends meet and to build a small little business. But I've realized that it goes way, way beyond that. It's affected my relationships with my animals, with my family, with my clients, with the way I work, with myself in particular. So it's huge, it's massive.
Mm. And that's the key right there, the relationship that we have with ourselves.
Mm.
It's
Yeah,
once
because
we get
that's
okay.
from there, that's where it goes, you know, everything starts. That's where everything starts. When we can have that relationship with ourselves, we can find that that inner strength, that confidence, that who we are, who we came here to be, and to yeah, because it's that's the way that I feel that we can start to make impacts on everybody else's life, and the rest of the world is only, you know, it's not seeking it out there, it's seeking it in here, and then letting it shine out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, for all of you ladies out there that are listening and want a deeper connection with your fur babies and want to understand them a little bit more, because you get to understand you a little bit more, Sue is your lady. So, Sue, how can these fur baby mums get in contact with you?
Oh, thank you, Shannon. Yeah, my business is called Heart Connection Dogs. So heartconnectiondogs.com, you will find me. And yeah, and I would love to, yes, I'm busy putting together different programs and more programs around this, but I just love, yeah, I love talking about this subject. I love helping people, dog parents, to see different perspectives, to understand their dogs differently, and to see the relationships between their emotions, our our beliefs around what we should be doing, or how we should be doing it, or how they should be, and yeah, what beautiful teachers they are. So thank you, Shannon, for that.
Oh, no worries at all. It was so lovely to connect with you. So thank you for sharing your story. And I could have really talked to you about our fur babies all day. But hey, we've got people to help.
Yeah,
Thanks.
exactly. Yeah.
Thanks so much for your time, Sue.
You're welcome. Thank you, Shannon. Thanks again.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.